Hi, Sean Huxter here. Welcome to Magical Little Worlds with me. So, you see a large bunch of Smashers eggs near me. So, we have done in the past the small, miniature Smashers egg with the little T-Rex on the head. It's a small one, about the size of my hand. And then we also did the slightly larger mini, which has a T-Rex on the head, which is a little bit larger. And then we had this one, which has the T-Rex, really big. You know, I have not opened this one yet, as you can tell, because the wrapper's still on. That's coming, by the way. But this is yet another size T-Rex on the head. What is different between those and this little guy? Well, that little guy does not have, doesn't have a dino head. What has he got? Why, look. He's got little feet. Little footsies. So, I have to say, I've been doing a lot of Smashers toys recently. I'm going to pan back up again. And one of the things that's really cool is that the Smashers dinos look like these, you know, like this is, of course, not dinosaurs. This is a mammoth. This is a saber cat. But look behind. We've got a number of dinosaurs here, and they all have this sort of similar look. We also have, I didn't put them up, but we have the Microraptors, or the Nanoraptor here, and the Nano-Brontosaurus. And they're all very characteristic and fun, but something is different about this guy, and that is this one is for kids. I mean, they're all for kids, but this is for little kids, I think. At least that appears to be the plan. These are much more cutesy little dinosaurs. Obviously, that photograph's a bit out of scale. There's no way that dinosaur is this big. But what you end up in here, and this is where TJ Maxx got me, guys. I was out of Smashers. I was out. And TJ Maxx pulled me back in. But I really was actually kind of looking for one of these, because I know that the ones with the heads on them were the more, like, slightly more mature kids' toys. These are for younger kids. And I was really eager to try one of these. And let's get that zoomed in. And I think what we've got, in this particular case, all of them have a colored foot matching the dinosaur. So a red foot matches the T-Rex. A slightly bluer foot matches the Brontosaurus. And kind of an orangey red matches the Raptor. A green one matches the Stegosaurus. And a tealy blue one matches the Triceratops. Now, I wouldn't mind both of these guys, because I'm a big fan of, like I said, I've always said my favorite dinosaur is the Triceratops. Second favorite is the Stegosaurus. And after that, you know, anything goes, but kind of done with T-Rexes. Wouldn't mind a Brontosaurus, but tonight I'm pretty sure, because of the green feet, we've got the Stegosaurus. Now, what makes this different from the other Smashers eggs? Well, yeah, I think we definitely have the Stegosaurus. What makes this different than the other Smashers eggs is this is more for kids. So what we do here is we don't have slime. I think what we have is kind of a Play-Doh substance, and there are molds, and you can mold things with your Play-Doh, and you can reuse these molds. And this is much more like an activity toy, I think. One that you can reuse. So there are 18 surprises inside. Smash, build, and learn. Dig and build a big dino. I don't know how big this is going to be. I suspect it can't be quite this large. But you never know. We're going to find out together tonight. Zuru Smashers Junior Dino Dig. I got this at TJ Maxx for $9.99. This is how TJ Maxx got me. I made the mistake of being out of Smashers entirely and then walking into a TJ Maxx. That was a dumb idea, wasn't it? So, let's get started. I really did kind of, even though I had kind of given up on Smashers for a while, I really did want to do one of these. I just couldn't find one. And I walk into this TJ Maxx today, and there it is. There was another one with a red feet, and maybe I'll go back and get that one later. It depends on how good this one goes. But I have to say, I've really been kind of eager to pull one of the really cutesy fun ones. All right, let's get started. There is a zip, obviously. And let's start a pool on how the zip works. So I'm going to cut the zip here, and I'm going to cut the zip here, if I can. If you cut the zip, you get a really good starting point. If not, you're in trouble already. So we'll start a betting pool. You start betting on the percentage of pull I get before the whole thing deteriorates. So let's go. Okay, if you're at 10%, if you're at the 10% line, you've already lost. If you're at the 20%, you've lost. 30. Oh, Okay, you win the pool if you got to around 33. Around a third of the way there, maybe 30. So let's try again. You know what? Okay. Zuru, if you're listening, and I'm sure you are, clearly, plastic has a grain to it. You'll notice that this tore across this way, and yet your zipper is up and down. Flip the graphic. Go 90 degrees with your printing, and then all of your zips will just work. Honestly, these are designed to go sideways, and your zip is designed to go vertical. What are you thinking? These never work, and it's because you do this. If you made your zips horizontal, if you flipped the graphic and made them vertical, they would just tear naturally. And we wouldn't have this trouble. Ugh. You know, you'd think somebody over there would learn after, about 8 years? But no. Anyway, then we'll pull this aside. There goes my sign. Look at all of this. This is a bit of a problem. Come on, get up there. All right. Hey, there we have it. I have to say, a little bit on the bottom. Let's take the pants off, guys. Let's take these pants off. There we go. You know, I gotta say, this is interesting. Because this is a Smashers egg, but it's different from any other. The lines of crack are very delineated, very kind of more caricaturistic. But look at these things. Look at these shiny bits. This is very much, very, very different from previous Smashers eggs. Let's look at this one, for example. Most of the Smashers eggs are kind of scaled versions of each other. So this one and this one are more or less exactly the same, but they've just been scaled down in the 3D print, or however they manufacture these. I imagine there's 3D printing involved. And I will bet you anything, when I open this later, it's going to have the exact same design, just scaled up. And so it's very interesting to see that this one's different. I love these patches, these circular oval patches. They're very shiny compared to the graininess of the rest of the egg. I gotta say, I'm really fond of this idea. All right, I'm going to zoom out a little now because we need a little space to see as we crack this egg. Oh, I've been excited about this one because, you know, I love toys for young kids. They're just, the imagination involved can be wonderful. And I'm a toy designer myself as well. I don't design toys for young kids. I design them for more adult collectors. But I do love it when I get a good toy for a younger kid. I raised a daughter, and when she was young, when I found a toy that was perfect for her, I was so overjoyed and thrilled. So we're going to break this open today and find out what we got. And I am going to have a little sip. This is a Wild Turkey 101, which is very nice. Instead of smashing this on the table, because what I've got is a kind of a fold-away table, and there's no solidity underneath it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try this. Wow, that worked way better than I expected. All right, that's the top of the egg. We'll put that aside. And we're going to keep the bottom of the egg to keep our substances in, because you know there's going to be doughs and things. At least I don't think there's going to be slime in this set, which is great. So what do we have? We have a bag. We have a bag. We have a bag. We have a little baggie of stickers. We have a guide. Oh, get out there. Come on. We have a guide, which apparently, you know, clearly we have the Stegosaurus. Thankfully, I love my Stegosauruses. And then the last thing we have, I don't know if this maybe is a collector's guide. Let's open it up and see what this is. This probably looks to me like, here's the ones you can get. So you can get a T-Rex. Again, I'm kind of done with T-Rexes. I have yet not had a good Brontosaurus. Well, that's not entirely true. I did have this little nano Brontosaurus, and it glows in the dark, so I do kind of like this. He's kind of cool. I like him. So he stays there. And then we have, what is this? The Collect Them All guide. So flip around, and I'll go from the side to side so we don't cheat things. Collector's guide. What do we have? Here's what I hope we have tonight, and I'm pretty sure we do, the Stegosaurus. And we have a raptor. Kind of tired of those two, because it seems like Zuru concentrates on raptors and T-Rexes way too much. And then we have the Triceratops, my absolute favorite. I love this guy. This guy is from the Dinos vs. Aliens set. And I have to say, he's my absolute favorite so far of the Zuru dinosaurs. Maybe tonight, he will be usurped by this cute little guy. Will he? We don't know. Let's find out. So this is not just a guide. Let me see if this is a map, because a lot of these are maps. So this is not a map. This is actually just a construction guide, but we definitely have the Stegosaurus. We do not apparently have a map. We do, however, have stickers. I'll open those in a little bit. I'm going to keep this aside just to put things in. And let us start with, normally these come with a map telling you which order to do it. So if there's no map, I think the order is irrelevant, so we can just do it any way we like. So these are very heavy, by the way. This is relatively hefty. Almost like the kinetic sand and slime, but I'm pretty sure there's no slime involved. So let's open this up, see what we do have in here. Maybe I'll tilt down a little, just a little, just to give us a little more room, and zoom in a little. There we go. All right. I do find these bags sometimes very, very, very hard to open. It looks like I kind of pulled a little too tall there. I don't know if there's a way to fix that. So let me open this and I'll start up. Oh, that was a bit of a struggle, guys. Let me be honest. I'm going to put these bags aside because we need some room, I think. Because these are large bags. A bit larger than I expected, to be honest. So let's pull out what we've got in here. This is the blue bag. Put the bag over here for the moment. Oh, so this is the... Oh, I was going to say, is this the body? No, this is the head. Now, this is very Play-Doh-like or putty-like. More like plasticine than Play-Doh, I think. So let me see if I can't pull some of this off the head. I don't want to have to, like, clean it with water. Sometimes, oh, and what's this? This is a foot. Okay, that's a foot. But you know what? I think it's a mold rather than a foot, because I don't think that's a foot that's going to go on the dinosaur. So this is very much a plasticine, by the way, rather than a Play-Doh. I was thinking maybe Play-Doh, but this is plasticine, like when I played with it as a kid, which I absolutely adore, by the way. This stuff is really wonderful. It's got a really great clay feel to it. It's unlike kinetic sand and slime. This stuff feels like you could play with it for hours and have a ton of fun. So let's gather up some of that. Now what I'm going to have to do, though, because I kind of want to clean this off and without running it through water. So let me do that. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Yeah, so this is incredibly hefty. This is really solid. This is not at least, I mean, there's hollow, right? You can, obviously, but there's a lot of plastic in here. So this may be rotocasted, but my God, this is hefty. But it's also rather large. So it is a little larger than I expected. So that might be really cool. It might bode well for the rest of this thing. Let's move on to what's next. So one of the things that this one comes with, blue clay, is a foot, which is a mold to make dinosaur footprints. So without doing the whole thing, I'll just cram it in there and pull it away, and we'll see basically what you can get. So you get basically a dinosaur footprint, a fossilized footprint, which is kind of cool. So let us put this. I'm going to put the mold aside, but I am going to put the clay back in the bag, and it's a Ziploc bag, so we can seal it up and pop it into the bottom part of the egg. I gotta say, Zuru, you surprised me with all of these caricaturistic dinosaurs that you do. This is absolutely stunning for a kid. This is really, this guy could own his own TV show. All right, let's put him aside and move on to the next bag. So let's pull the, oops. If you watch my channel, you'll know I always drop something on the floor. It's not funny, it just happens. I'm a bit of a Butterfingers at times, but that's okay. We have successfully retrieved the egg. Another sip. Yeah, it's kind of nice. All right, move on. Open it up. And we're going to have trouble with this as well, because these Ziplocs are incredibly strong. Honestly, it's kind of physically exhausting opening these things. It gets so tough. Let's move the head a little bit. So what do we got in here? We're going to have, obviously, another part of our dinosaur, but also maybe another mold. Oh, the tail. Oh, it looks like the body. So in a lot of these Zuru Smashers, the body and tail come separate, but this looks like they are together, which is kind of fun. Oh, that's really nice. Let's get the plasticine out of there. And And we have the cleaned out body. Might be a little bit of plasticine left. But this plasticine has the smell of the good old plasticine or Play-Doh. But it's a little denser than Play-Doh, I think. But it kind of does smell like Play-Doh, and that's a wonderful thing. Everybody who grew up in this modern era knows what Play-Doh smells like and how wonderful it is. This is a really pretty dinosaur body. I'm going to give Zuru props because with all the characteristic kind of mean-looking dinosaurs they've done in the past, they really do know how to do a cute kid's toy. I love this. All right, we'll put this down and move on to the last bag, and that'd be the orange bag, which obviously is going to have all the legs inside. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't talk about the mold that came with this because we didn't actually pull it out. So this is a bone mold. So clearly the plasticine is inside, but you can use this to make a mold of a dinosaur bone, which is kind of fun. So let's clean that out and move it with the next one. It cleans out pretty easily. And so let's put this mold with our foot mold and put our green dough, or plasticine dough, Play-Doh, in the green bag and zip that up. And open our orange bag. Clearly it's going to have orange dough, given the precedent in the past of blue bag having blue dough and green bag having green dough. And again, the Ziplock's going to be hard to open, so let's just do it. Man, I am not kidding when I say these are freaking hard to open. But there it is, it's open. I think I might just take a nap and come back later. Okay, rejuvenated and refreshed after my long 45-minute nap, I come back at it and pull out the orange plasticine Play-Doh kind of dough, and nothing less in there. Let's put that aside. And oh good, all the legs this time come in a bag, which is kind of helpful because getting the dough off is, it can be a bit of a problem. And so this last mold is, oh, I like this orange. This is very pretty. Oh, this orange is beautiful. Okay, I'm really loving this orange. These feel so good. This feels way better than Play-Doh. This just feels, forgive me if I just don't do this for 12 minutes. I'm not going to do that though. Again, you can peel off and clean this out later, but the mold itself forms a leaf. Or, you know what? I think it's actually a palm tree. I was thinking that's a leaf if it was upside down, but that's definitely a palm tree. And you can, let's just shove some plasticine in there to show what it might look like when you're done. So you can make a little palm tree out of your clay. And that's kind of nice. I'll put that with the others. I'll clean that up later. There's no need to worry about that right now. But I'll put that with the other guys. I cleaned it off pretty well. I'll put it with the other molds. So what you end up with is a footprint mold for dinosaur footprints. Kind of cute with the little stubby little toenails. And you have a bone fossil that you can make your little mold fossils out of. And then you have a palm tree fossil. And that's kind of nice. And I have to say I like those. What I do find weird though is that the blue clay has a blue mold, the orange clay has a green mold, and the green clay has an ivory mold. A bit weird, but again, bear with me while I do this for 12 more minutes. Oh, that's so satisfying. I'll just do this for 12 minutes, guys. Be patient. Okay, I'm not going to do it for 12 minutes, but that's so cool. I've put it over here with the others. I had to give it up because it was too much fun and taking up too much time. Before I continue, let's look at the stickers. Because it's very easy to claim you have 18 surprises inside. Oh, and 3 of those are stickers. So what do we have? We have the blue Brontosaurus, which is one of the ones you can get, but not this one. You have a green Tyrannosaur with a little fish biting him, which is kind of interesting because some of the Zuru, like for example, the Spinosaurus has a little fish biting him in the back of the leg. And I don't know what it is with the obsession with these little things that Zuru has, but I'm all in. I love this. This is great. And it almost looks like a piranha rather than some of the other fishes, so that's kind of cute. And then the last one is just like a leg of some animal that the Brontosaurus can eat. I'm sorry, in this case, the Stegosaurus can eat, and because Brontosauruses don't eat meat. And that is the 3 stickers that we get. So that adds up to 18 surprises inside because, hey, 3 of them are little paper stickers. Oh, well. So let's move on back to where we were, where we left off, which was the bag of legs that came in the orange clay pouch. And we'll cut this open, and then we'll finally build our dinosaur, which I've kind of been looking forward to, because I got to tell you, once again, I am absolutely in love with the cutesiness of this dinosaur. This is the cutest dinosaur ever, and this might overtake the Triceratops as my favorite ever Zuru dinosaur. And we shall see, because I do have more Smashers, and there may be more dinosaurs, and I may actually like more of those, some of those more than this. But I just can't see it right now. This is too freaking cute. Love this guy. Okay, let's get on with it and put the head onto the body. And oh, it fits nicely. And the head can swivel back and forth. Before I can say swavel, I better take another swip. Very nice. All right. We'll take the front leg on this side. Now, these snap in way better than the regular Zuru Smashers dinos. There was a snap there, and you don't really hear that very often. So let's take the other front. Hear that snap? That's wonderful. And then we do the rear legs. So we take the rear leg on this one. Does it snap as well? Oh, that was kind of fitted on rather loosely, but it goes on nice and strong. And then over here. Oh, so nice, so nice, so nice. Oh, he's so freaking cute, isn't he? Okay, one of my pet peeves recently has been online ads for toys that show the toy so much larger than it actually is. Somebody has photoshopped the images to make them way larger. Now this is the size of my hand. An adult male hand, no larger than most, certainly not a small child's hand. But on the package and in ads, you see this. That is massive. That dinosaur is larger than the egg it comes in. And I gotta call Zuru out and say, stop lying. Stop doing this. This is not fair. There used to be laws against this. You cannot misrepresent your product this badly. Now, while his head is missing, the poor kid there, this is way large. This is at least 2 to 3 times larger than the dinosaur actually is. And there's no need to do it. The thing is cute as it is. All right, rant over. So what do we end up with? We end up with 3 molds, which are kind of cute. We end up with 3 very nice substances, way better than kinetic sand or slime. Just really nice kind of Play-Doh, somewhere between Play-Doh and plasticine. And you get this amazingly, beautifully cute Stegosaur with beautifully painted dorsal plates, which aren't just blue, they're actually gradated from green up to blue. And then you have a tail. Unfortunately, the tail's not separated, which would be kind of nice. I like to have that. But the tail horns are here. They're stubby and small and cute. But I just... Okay. As you may know, in the past, my mascot in all my videos has been my wonderful frost mammoth. And I have loved my Triceratops. But from now on, this little guy is going to be along with them because I love this guy. All right. A bit longer than I expected. There's a bit more to this than I thought. And I actually kind of love this guy. So, you know, I'm just going to say that for Magical Little Worlds and Sean Huckster, thanks for watching. And I'm so glad I got this little guy. Finally. Good night. Talk to you later.